And we are live on the PlayStation Community Twitch channel playing The Crew today. Hello everyone. Got Brady joining me today.
Hi.
Going to be doing the Showtime faction race today, so we're going to head down to Miami. Get the race going. Whereabouts are you on the map, Brady?
I'm over at next to the Showtime Tour landmark mission in the Miami Keys.
Alright, I'll meet you down there. I'm just going to drive down there. Let the community see some of the skill challenges as I'm going down. It's actually the first time I've played this game and actually been in a crew.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. So, if I don't know how something works, I'll be sure to ask you. Do you just auto join the faction race when I start it, or do I have to invite you?
You can just you can bring up the main menu of the faction mission itself. And you have the option for quick co-op, or crew co-op, solo, or wiki app. Which one of them has to be the crew co-op if you're doing it with more than one person in a crew.
Yeah. And I've got that perk as well. If that matters.
If it's just on your own, the option crew co-op would instead be called quick co-op.
Yeah. So have you been playing GT much lately?
Yeah, I've been focusing a lot more on this game, The Crew, nowadays, because there are lots of things I still have left to do in this. One of these are getting all the individual colors purchased. I've got the metallic, the matte, the anodized, and the iridescent paint colors all purchased. Every single one of them from their own categories. It's just the official colors of each individual car left to do. I've also got the vintage wheels left to collect. Everything else in the wheels category done. Just the official ones and the vintage wheels left to get. As for the interior, I've got every single item of the interior bought, such as aluminium, carbon, wood, mixed aluminium, and mixed carbon, all purchased.
That's going to cost you quite a bit to get all of that.
Yeah, the sticker ones, they're the next big thing to get, and they cost serious money. One particular vinyl, I think, would cost about $15,000. With a discount, it's a little bit less.
Yeah, I used to have that 10%, was it 20% discount, but I've removed that now. Hi, Kurnika-san. That Ragnarsville. Sorry if I pronounced your usernames wrong.
Yeah. Speaking about the perks, I had every single perk used up for every single person, such as Zoe, Harry, you name it. 181 perks was all the benefits. But to do that, I had to spend a bit of money to get a few more crew credits to do that.
Yeah, I had to buy some yesterday. I only bought 10, I think. That's all my crew credits gone. But I've still only got, I think I've only got 62s or 63 perks. I did have that perk, you know, the one that gives you 2 sometimes for every time you level up, but it didn't give me anything.
Yeah, I've never really noticed that until I got the whole story complete and my level status up to level 50. Looks like we're about to get started. Now this is for dirt cars. This.
Yeah, I'm just changing over, making sure it selects my correct dirt car here.
Okay.
Focused against the Humvee. Well, I may crash a lot because I'm not really sitting in the centre of the screen here because I've got the comment section on the side. Plus I'll be reading, so I'm sure someone will try and distract me and make me crash. Yeah. Crew co-op, yeah.
Yep.
So this is roughly a 2.5 hour race from Miami to LA.
I reckon it could be done in a lot less in that time.
Yeah. That's the plan anyway.
Now it's not just us that were in. There'll be 3 other AI cars in this as well.
And you get the benefit of a bit of rubber banding. I'll try not to bang into you. If I do, I apologise in advance. Well, your car's clearly got more speed than mine.
Yeah. And I didn't use crew credits to buy the Hummer H1 Alpha at all. I used real bucks, which with the discounts cost me about $707,000 bucks. But I had to do that so I could earn a few award points, counting towards my faction spoils.
I wasted a lot of my crew bucks, well, crew credits, quite early on. I didn't really know what they were for. But then I built up my money and I had a choice between the Aventador and the Jarrett R or the LaFerrari, and I went for the Aventador. And now I've got no money left.
Well, I've been doing a few tests with several perf cars most recently, including the LaFerrari. And out of all the perf cars I've tested so far, the one with the best acceleration is the LaFerrari. It out-accelerates all the other cars. No use of nitrous is needed. It out-accelerates all the other cars if they weren't using nitrous.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best acceleration cars ever. But can you get that amount of power going around the corners is a big question.
Yeah, it'd be hard to control that, I think. But we'll see. There's not really been a game yet that properly does the physics for it yet. I don't know if it's going to be in Project Cars or something like that. Maybe it'll be in the next Gran Turismo game.
Speaking of Project Cars, I pre-ordered the limited edition of the game. It was supposed to be released last month, but it's been delayed back to mid-May, some people say. Even my local game store told me that first up.
It was originally going to be out in 2013, but then they delayed it as they dropped the support for old generation consoles, and then it was coming out in, I think it was September last year, but then they said they delayed it because there was too many games coming out at the time and they wanted to give the game its full audience.
I think probably they delayed Project Cars a little bit this time. I think maybe for a little bit more polishing. I have no idea. We'll have to find out when the time comes.
That's what they said every time. I'm not sure, but I think if they don't announce an official release date in the next 3 weeks, it might be delayed again. I think you need about 3 or 4 weeks for the game to go gold and the publishers to get it out to the retailers.
Yeah. When will they announce that they'll put it in, that they've gone gold with it? We'll have no idea until they say so.
Yeah.
That's the main thing about it. But besides that, I'm looking forward to Project Cars, and there are lots of different cars in the game. Not as many as what the Gran Turismo series had, which has about, I think, 1,260 cars or so in Gran Turismo 6. Could be a lot less than that for Project Cars.
Yeah. The thing that helps with Gran Turismo is it's got about a model of one particular car for like every year. Like Nissan GTRs as an example, or MX-5s. Which you don't have that in Project Cars.
I read on the PSN Events forum the other day, you were mentioning there was a bit of a disappointing end to the OPC through GT Championship for GT6, and I don't blame you for that, but probably because because of all the new games going on, and because a lot of people are turning their attention to the 8th generation consoles, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Wii U. I think that's probably what's influenced the results of the series.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've got the wrong car for this part of the race.
No, you don't have the wrong car. The Focus RS has good levels of nitrous pressure, but try not to overdo it. I've driven that and loads of other cars on the same spec, and I know which ones perform the best.
Yeah, it's just this car never performs too well on the tarmac when I've raced it. Because I think your car's got about 20 or 30 miles an hour on me. Well, yeah, I think you're going to beat me in this by quite a few minutes.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be a lonely race for you.
But if we are in the same faction, it shouldn't be a problem, because we can still get a couple of points for a few reputation points for the specific area that the race started in.
Yeah.
And speaking about faction points, and most importantly faction spoils, there had been quite an issue going on lately with the daily salary of the amount of bucks we earn on the crew, specifically for the PS4, and Ubisoft's The Crew forums mentioned that too.
Is that why nobody's earning that 10,000 trophy?
Yeah, the previous update, when I installed it, the next day when I checked what sort of faction spoils I got, I was astounded to see over 160,000 bucks of faction spoils on a daily salary add to my list. It helped me get another few award points for getting the required 36,000 bucks earned from daily income. It was enough to for me to earn another license plate. And and speaking of license plates, the most recent license plate I earned is the California or Hollywood license plate. That's by completing all the objectives in Los Angeles itself.
Alright. I don't think I've actually got any of those.
Yeah. One of these simple and easy ones to do for award points is visiting Los Angeles for the first time, and I know everyone else will know that when they get there.
Yeah.
And 4 of those award points objectives that I did involved going through from one landmark to another, making sure to pass through the landmarks inside Los Angeles. For example, going from the donut stand all the way to Crossroads of the World, I think it is.
Okay.
It's one landmark to another in a session. The other 3 objectives for award points involved 3 landmarks without skipping over to that location, and I got those done before, making sure to look closely at the map to see which way I had to go.
I'll have to take a closer look at all those objectives, because it's not something I've really been paying attention to.
Some of the award points objectives that are quite bugged, that normally can't keep their complete status on for long, involved mostly the convoys award point one. We have to earn where a specific license plate for it needs to be earned if all the convoy award point objectives are done. But if you get a few award point objectives done in first day, the next day when you log back on, it's gone. It's like they've never registered it.
That sucks.
I just really hope that they should perform an update to the crew to help address those award point challenge issues.
But it's one thing you've got to give Ubisoft credit for, because I don't think too many people have bought this game that they were hoping for, but they are giving it regular updates.
Yeah, most recent update added the Blitz Brawl PvP races, 2 races per region.
Have you actually bought any of the DLC cars? Oops.
There was no need to pay for them because I only had to spend $30 on the season pass, and I got those cars for free and 1 week early before the rest of the world.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't bother with the pass.
Sometimes those certain DLC cars can somewhat earn you a few wins. One in particular is the Abarth 500, available in Street and Perf spec. The Street spec only has 5 years, but its nitrous pressure is very good. It'll work well. So trust me, it's probably a good car to go for. And if you have a season pass, you'll be good.
Oh, there's dirt. Now I'm happy. Bit of gravel.
And here's another interesting fact I should bring up. This is the very first Ubisoft game I've ever played, and for that it meant I had to create a Ubisoft Uplay account before I could do this.
So you've never played anything like Driver before?
Nothing like the Driver games or those Assassin's Creed games. I really don't have any interest in those other games. But The Crew is something that caught my attention, so I gave it a go, and you know what? It's actually brilliant. And I might be saying this, I'm not sure if everyone in the community listening can take my word for this, but I think this is one of the few online-only games out there that is a direct competitor to Microsoft's Need for Speed World by Electronic Arts.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I'd actually say it's better than Need for Speed.
The thing about its direct competitor, Need for Speed World, is that it's a 2010 game, which at the time was released by Microsoft, Electronic Arts, and Black Box. Black Box itself, at the time, has since had its name changed to Quicklime Games, but was shut down, I think, a few days after the supposed patch to Need for Speed World that added the achievements feature for the game itself. And at the time, that must have been a huge letdown, because the biggest problem after that particular patch was the ever-increasing use of cheating. And to be honest, Renegade, I was very annoyed with that after the particular update. It's a shame that that Quicklime Games had shut down. Months later or so, I think half a year later, there had been a small dedicated team helping to maintain the servers for the crew. And then around the same time next year, there was a sub development team that came in to take over, and they've been helping to continue with the in-game cash, car rotations, the car sales and so forth, everything.
Yeah, that's good then. It's not really a game that I've been... I don't know.
Just took a bit of a wrong turn there. I just realised which way where the line is going, and when I looked at the map very quickly, I wasn't too far away from that corner.
Yeah, I did the same thing earlier in the race. Had to do a handbrake turn.
One particular kind of thread that I took notice of in the Crew Ubisoft forums is trying to find the fastest way in the Fugitive faction mission, and the fastest I got, and this was done I think just early today, fastest on that time was just under 23 minutes 30 seconds, but there have been other players that must have found faster ways around, and they got it done in way less than 23 minutes. How they did that, I'll need to ask them and find out how they did it.
Well, anything with a leaderboard can usually be exploited somehow, so I tend to ignore some of the top times on them.
Yeah. In terms of factions for each area, there's 7 different ranks in each area that I can think of, and they have differences in awards. At the moment, with the Wolves at rookie ranking, since it has been updated, the rookie ranking is the lowest one, and if you're the Wolves, with the Wolves at the moment, they'll award me $1,080. But because it's the same amount across all the other regions, plus that from the world and the bit of faction spoils bonus added in, it meant over $8,000. But there's also other ranks in there. I mentioned rookie, which is the first one. There's also there's gangster. What's his name? Thug, lieutenant, street boss, underboss, and boss. 7 different ranks to look into. If you're very good in one particular region and want to continue earning more points for that area, for that faction's area, you can probably go up a higher rank. And the East Coast, in particular, is the very first area that got me a rank of boss, and that lasted for quite a few days.
Well, I've just created a pile up here. Yeah. To be honest, I don't even know what rank I am. I'm not even sure what faction I am. I've been that busy playing other games, I've not really paid attention to this, but now that I've definitely finished my events, I'll be putting more hours into this.
Yeah.
I'll be joining you for that 4-hour race. Oh. I'm glad you can't see this stream because you'll be laughing at how I'm driving.
One thing to bring up, the performance of each car. For each spec, they have a difference in performance, and depending on how good your car is, whether it be in terms of improvements in the motor core, the drivetrain or gearbox, the weight reduction, exhaust, the fuel injection, that sort of thing. It all affects the overall performance rating of your car. At the moment, my Hummer H1 Alpha in dirt spec is sitting at 1,299 points of performance.
That's maxed out then.
Maxed out. It's not just the only car that reaches 1,299. Every other car in my garage, no matter what spec they are, every single spec of them, all tuned up to 1,299 points of performance. That's how good of a driver I am, getting all those cars maxed out on that performance level.
The thing is, so when you're doing those skill challenges, you're not actually guaranteed you're going to get a level 50 platinum item. Which I'm not very lucky with. I keep getting like 42s, 43s. I've only ever hit a level 50 one once.
Well, the easiest way to earn those platinum parts is by doing the jump skills, and I know this from the bottom of my heart and from the back of my memory. And I can tell you that jumps are the faster way to do it, provided that you have a car fast enough to do it. It's not... Now, speaking of jumps, not every single car can get platinum in it. The raid cars in particular, the best ones for them would be the hill climb challenges, and it was a bit of a pain getting level 50 platinum parts for the raid spec cars. But over time, I managed to have gotten level 50 on some of those parts, being fuel injection, air system, you name it.
Yeah, they're just too heavy and too slow for the jumps. I don't think I've actually done any hill climbs.
Once you've unlocked those the level 50 parts, they are instantly available in the specific car tuner of whatever spec you won the level 50 of the platinum parts for. In this case, the most amount of level 50 platinum parts I won was for circuit spec, and the Los Angeles car tuner has a bolster array of platinum parts, and I didn't win them just to get my cars up to 1,299. Sometimes there are bonuses with level 50 platinum parts that can help your car, say on either grip, braking, acceleration, or top speed. And believe me, by looking closely into what specific kind of performance bonuses I needed for the cars I drive, they can often work well for me. And like I said before, that's how good of a driver I am, knowing this from the back of my head, inside out.
I'm being distracted here by these jumps.
I've just crossed through the borderline into the Midwest, crossing through New Holland. Just looking on my extended map, I can see the Windmill racetrack nearby. And get this, in the Midwest PvP lobbies, the Windmill racetrack is included in the list of different tracks available, which is for the Midwest only.
Which speedway is it again? You have to do. Is it 200 laps?
Little Eagle Speedrome, you have to do 200 laps of it, and I did that before, and I was astounded to get 200 award points for that area, and got the Midwest award complete, and won the license plate for that area alone.
I think I might pop on tomorrow and do that, or we'll do that faction race tomorrow.
Shame that they haven't really included an actual 500 mile endurance race sort of thing for that particular track, or something like that. If it was a 500 mile endurance race at Little Eagle Speedrome, which is about 200 laps, that would pretty much be, I think, near a rip-off of the Indy 500, which I know this too, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, they've got a few iterations of real-life tracks in here.
Well, Little Eagle Speedrome, I can say this straight away. Little Eagle Speedrome, complete rip-off of Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh, so it's not true oval then, it's got the four corners.
But there is a couple of tracks in this game that are nearly identical to real life ones. One of these being Sebring International Raceway. And the ever popular Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
Yeah, the Laguna Seca one's like nowhere near accurate, but the corners are recognisable if you've been there before in other games, or watched on TV.
Yeah, there really isn't much of a steep descent on the corkscrew corners. Just a visible road where you can see the other corner after the corkscrew.
Yeah,
it's a bit weird. Ohio roadside giants. The terrain's getting a little rough here.
Oh, I like rough. Although my wheel doesn't. I have all of the force feedback and everything turned right up. Oh, getting lost again.
Now driving on what they call Mother Road 66. Speaking of Mother Road 66, there was a new faction mission added on the last update, which they called it Route 66, which in the description takes between 10 and 60 minutes to complete. And that means with all the perks spent on a specific benefit, you'll get up to $33,000 in solo. A little bit more if there's up to 4 people doing that event at the same time.
That's a good one for grinding money. I like doing the, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one from the prison down to New York. You've just got to get down there without taking too much damage.
I think I know that particular mission. There is an award. There is a couple of awards points for doing that faction mission. If you do that mission, complete it as a crew of 4, you'll get a couple of award points for it. The same thing goes for the other ones, such as the way to Amarillo, off the beaten path, leaving LA, to name a few. They each offer up to 33,000 solo, but a bit more, like I said, if it's up to a crew of 4. But if all 5 of those events are done as a crew of 4, there'll be more awards points for them to work with, provided that it doesn't get bugged and doesn't get removed the next login day.
So we have 9 viewers at the moment, and feel free to say hi, don't be shy. If you've got any questions about the crew, then we have the crew encyclopedia here, also known as Brady.
Yeah.
And I'll just talk about anything if you want. Ask me why I'm such a bad driver, or ask me what I think the lottery numbers are going to be. Anything. No guarantees though. Usually English Golfer or Cypher's in here talking. Can't remember if it's yesterday or today he went for a game of golf. I'm not sure what golf in Sweden's like.
Driving along Dakota grasslands, it reminds me, there is one hidden secret award that you get somewhere along here, and that's by finding, I know this is a bit of a spoiler alert for anyone listening, but if you know where it is, finding the giant cow near the top end of the Dakota grasslands, just to the west of Chicago.
Am I actually catching you, or are you just in a twisty bit?
There's a couple of twisty corners along the way.
Thought so. Bit of false hope there. Never mind. I've never done this one before, so if I knew there was so much tarmac and everything, and I would have picked something different.
Just gone under a sign that says there's something hills. I didn't get into my head quickly enough, but you'll know what it is. I've just entered Black Hills, nearing the borderline with Mountain States.
This part of the country looks a lot like scenery from the Walking Dead series.
Oh, yeah.
No zombies in this game though. Oh, don't worry.
No, not at all. It's just road, country, and cars, and that's it.
Which is the way it should be.
Overlooking the famous faces engraved in rock up here. You'll probably see what I mean when you get here.
Yeah, I'm a couple of minutes behind.
Yeah.
What top speed is your Humvee though?
On its own, I'd say at least 250 kilometers per hour with maximum performance. I really haven't tested it on a flat, clean road yet, so I'm yet to actually find out what its top speed is. But if anyone listening would have a better idea or have played this before, will probably know what the flat top speed is for cars like the Dirt Spec H1 Alpha.
I'm just trying to convert kilometers per hour into miles per hour in my head, and it's not working.
Yeah.
Usually need Tassie on for that.
Hill here.
Oh, that was a bad bump. car just came to a dead stop when I hit that. If Ubisoft are watching, patch that one, please. Oh, I'm there.
I've just crossed checkpoint number 80.
You're 3 ahead of me. Well, clear of the AI cars. Even though they're a lot higher spec than me. They're pretty close to maximum as well. Oh, itchy nose.
I see some snow nearby. It looks like I'm nearing the borderline.
That was a rock. I'm sure this area was used in one of the missions. No, like one of the raid runs.
I see snow patches along some of these hills.
Well, it'd be nice to see some snow because we never got much of that over the winter in the real world here.
I've just passed through the borderline into Mountain States, now crossing through Yellowstone.
Near the volcano. Feel free to stop at the side of the road and take some photos. It's definitely a good game for the share button.
It definitely is, despite the fact that it's an online-only game.
Yeah. I know it's not the best looking graphic-wise when you compare it to like Drive Club or that, but you have to understand it because of the size of the map. You've got to make sacrifices somewhere.
Yeah. It did receive mixed reviews, namely for the Xbox One and PS4 versions. The PC version is the better received game, but don't take my word for it.
It's the type of game where they're always going to favour PC reviews.
And speaking of the PC or computers such as an Apple computer or Microsoft computer, they are starting to have much more better graphics versus 8th generation consoles. Probably because video game consoles like the PS4 and Xbox One can't keep up with the graphics processing units of computers themselves.
Yeah, you just can't upgrade them, that's the problem. Not complaining though.
Some reviewers believe that the 8th generation will probably be the last of the video game console wars, something like that, and that more and more people would be stuck with just PCs, which, like I said, is either an Apple or Microsoft computer, but you'll probably understand what I mean.
I think there'll still be consoles, but I think the whole definition of a console will change the next generation. It won't be as we know it.
The thing is, if they do retire consoles, I'll be sad to see it go.
Yeah.
Because I've been a video gamer for over half my life now. I've got the video game that kickstart it all, and I know this may go back into childhood memories. The game I got on my 9th birthday, this was back in 2001, was Spyro 2 Gateway to Glimmer, known as Spyro 2 Rifter's Rage in the US. And it was the game I got on my 9th birthday for the original PlayStation console. It was the game that I've loved since I first played it. And I'm not joking about this time. Childhood memories can still be relived here and there.
Yeah. I love the Spyro games. I think I had the very first one that ever came out. It was just called Spyro the Dragon. Can't remember if there was an actual subtitle to it. And I got lost again. Oh, but no, can't remember what my first game was. It must have been on the ZX Spectrum.
But it's not just games like Spyro 2 Gateway to Glimmer that I remember from my young years. There are also games like Highway Hunter on the Microsoft MS-DOS computer. A game that I remember way back in the day. But the only version of Highway Hunter that I've known and played back in the day was the shareware version, which meant I only could access and play through 5 of the 15 levels. Until I noticed it on the web recently, a website specializing in MS-DOS old games, they had Highway Hunter on there, but not the shareware version, the commercial version, which meant all 15 levels were made available.
Oh, is that one of those called emulator type sites?
Yeah, emulator type things. I don't mind those websites trying to emulate exactly what the old games were like. And it's the same story with Sega games. In particular, the Sonic the Hedgehog games, with Sonic in particular being among one of my most favorite heroes ever, alongside Spyro and several other heroes in between.
Well, I don't mean to upset any users watching, but I definitely like Sonic miles better than Mario.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. Sonic way better than Mario.
I think Sega were just a lot more edgy.
The only ever video game console I can think of that Sega made that was the most successful was the Mega Drive, known as the Genesis in North America.
Yeah, I had one of them.
And the very first Sonic the Hedgehog game was created on that very console itself. And the original game itself had over 15 million copies, which it's being bundled with the console itself is very commercially successful and critically acclaimed.
Definitely.
And I loved it for that. Out of the snow and into another part of the mountain states, the Central Hills.
Well, I was in the deep snow there because I missed a turn and crashed into the barrier and went down the side of the mountain. I could have reset the car to the track, but I just prefer to drive back up the mountain. I think some of the toughest faction races, although they're all fairly easy, is the ones on the snow.
Yeah. Speaking about driving on snow, there are some there are a lot of cars in the game that don't fare well on an icy surface like that in Salt Lake City. But there are some cars that have better traction, and in other words, better nitrous pressure and acceleration on those icy surfaces. One of them being the Perp Spec Ford Focus RS and the Lamborghini Gallardo LP570-4 Superleggera. They're good cars with better traction on ice.
Yeah, the four-wheel drive helps. My GTR's quite good on the ice. Can't remember if it's my... No, it must be my performance one. I need to upgrade my street GTR because it's got bronze level gearbox and drivetrain and it's useless.
I might cop criticism from this from the viewers listening, but I would still hold this tune in my heart. The GTR R34 Skyline isn't my favorite car. The only reason why is because my eldest brother wants one, but it will not work for him. It will not make him any better driving that car. If he is seen by anyone while he's driving, he's going to feel very embarrassed when they say to him, "You're showing off." That is what makes the R34, in my opinion, seriously uncool. Not only that, I would actually keep the R34 in my list of worst cars ever, all things considered. No joke. Again, I'll cop criticism for it, but that's my opinion. It doesn't have to be my opinion, but it's up to the listeners to decide.
Yeah, we're all entitled to our opinion. I'll just add that the GTR is one of my favourite cars. Just to balance out.
It's a pity because some people like the R34, but others like me don't. Which gives me another problem, if I mind saying so. Because you cannot have the Porsche Carrera GT either, which it too is a supercar, but is only the second most interested car that my oldest brother would want to drive one day. But it just doesn't work for him. It has too much power. It has a £330,000 price tag, which if you convert to Australian dollars, a bit more expensive.
Yeah. Hey, can I ask, did you drive through the canyon or above the canyon?
No, I didn't drive through the canyon. I followed the GPS route exactly as it tells me.
Yeah, my GPS is taking me right off the edge of the canyon, and I'm now driving completely off-road like a raid vehicle now.
You don't have the color-coded race line route?
Well, I do have that, but it's disappeared. I'm just using the map now, and it's taking me completely off-road. I'm just driving as the crow flies now.
Yeah, well, there are certain areas across the race that isn't actually good for doing a proper shortcut on. I'm sticking to the main road itself, and that's why I'm shaving a bit of time, especially on these long-distance races.
Yeah, I would have stuck to the road, but the road turned left, but I was just following the blue line, and it went straight, and I went right off the edge of the cliff. That's why I'm dropping down to last place now. And I'm nowhere near a road now.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe if I hold the circle button down it'll reset me, I'm not sure.
It'll reset you back onto the road where the race line marker is pointing you to.
I'm at a dead end. I'll hold it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm back on the road now. But I'm well behind.
Okay.
I've just lost 2 miles.
10 kilometers. Along this road here, I'm already approaching the capital of New Mexico, Santa Fe. here I am now, Santa Fe.
Well, where? Central Hills. Oh, I'm a mile, no, 2 miles behind the nearest competitor. It was very costly, that. I have noticed it does glitch sometimes like that. But usually it's quickly to reset itself.
You're a long way behind the other AI drivers.
Yeah.
This particular bit of road that I'm on now is one of the bits of road that the fugitive faction mission crosses through. Speaking of that faction mission, the fugitive, when I mentioned shorter times getting from start to finish in the quickest time, it has to be on the correct path. For example, if you think you found a very straight line shortcut all the way through to the finish line in the fugitive, it won't work for you, because say for example, if you're just leaving the railway to try and get to the finish line dead straight, it'll land you straight into the biggest obstacle ever, the Grand Canyon, and you'll end up spending a lot more time trying to get back onto the main road. So whatever you do, don't go there in a straight line. Follow the GPS route, and I know this from the back of my head too.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me there, apart from it wasn't the Grand Canyon, and just GPS didn't work for me. Just unfortunate. Yeah, don't try and take shortcuts. Still going along the New Mexico area of Mountain States, passing by an old ruined village just now. Now into Monument Valley. Oh, we're more than halfway there, aren't we?
From the looks of how many checkpoints we've done, it's sort of about halfway. But like I said, it can be done a lot quickly, because if you have a car tuned to the maximum 1,299, the amount of time spent doing the event will be a lot shorter.
Yeah. Well, I think there's enough to go for me to catch up, but not catch up to you. But I might be able to salvage second place if I don't keep getting lost. If someone has to finish last, and it's going to be me. Every time I make a mistake here, I'll lose a mile to you.
You're already less than 10 miles behind.
Yeah. 8. Oh, another bad bump. Yeah, I'm 8.2 miles behind. I've lost 3 miles in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Forgive me if I get this pronunciation wrong, but I'm crossing through Navajo Trail. Which is Navajo. I think it's Navajo. I'm not sure if my pronunciation's correct on that one.
Oh, you're fairly right.
just still going along this dirt road for a bit. The large rock faces are getting a little bit more pronounced now. The way this dirt path's going is going to take me along the rock face now. I'm just approaching the tricky U-turn now. Just having a brief view of the second place driver and how far away the second place driver is. They're just under 9 kilometers or 5 and a bit miles behind.
They're pulling away from me. It's partly affecting the game. I'm sure if I was still ahead of them I would be pulling away, but because I'm behind and you're so far ahead it makes them go quicker. It's just part of the balance and physics of the game to keep it more competitive.
It could be the main reason why.
So I remember when, you know that 4-hour race, the faction race, I think I was about 2 minutes clear on that one, and I really needed to go to the toilet. So I parked the car at the side of the road, went to the toilet and everything, did my business, and then went to the kitchen, made a sandwich and all that, had a bit of lunch, and by that time I was about 10 minutes behind and I was still able to catch up. Just because the game does that to make it more competitive.
Yeah.
So if you are miles behind, they will slow down a bit, but if you're far ahead, they'll go quicker.
The little rock face area that I just cleared, you can actually find a good use for that area, because if you do it correctly, you can do a very quick shortcut on that one and hopefully get you closer to the 4th place driver, if you do it correctly.
Oh, the way things are going for me, I'm sure I'll do it wrong. I am catching though.
Yeah.
It was 1.7 miles a few moments ago, it's now a mile. As I stop making mistakes, I should be okay.
The weather's already changing to mostly cloudy. I've just entered the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, as for weather, I kind of wish they had rain in this game, but they don't.
Yeah.
Or snow.
It's very weird why they don't have rain in this. Probably because there are some areas that don't rain at all. I have no idea.
That's true.
This next checkpoint I have to get to, at the moment from where I'm at, is about 32 kilometers or 20 a bit miles away. Forgive me, listeners, if because I'm not a professional on units conversion, so yeah.
That's why we have Google.
I'm more used to metric units these days, but you'll probably see what I mean.
I'm not actually sure who's watching, it just says 9 people. If I had my laptop on, I'd be able to check.
Yeah. So how far away are you from the 4th place driver?
1.1 miles. It's coming down.
Okay.
and third place is not too far ahead of him, but there's about a 3 mile gap to second place.
Just having a quick view of my surroundings, I'm already, I think, over 2.5 miles ahead of the second place driver. This obstacle course in the Grand Canyon is slowing me down, but it is still the direct way through. There's no shortcuts going through it. Except for one little bit of shortcut, which I think I may have just spotted in this bit of the Grand Canyon. When you approach this little bit of a section of road, it turns a little bit more slightly to the right, but the road ahead is where the GPS line would still be on. So if you time it correctly, you'll be able to do a shortcut and shave at least 20 seconds off your total time. I know this, and because I've been going through this particular route a few times before, it's a very easy shortcut.
I can see third place now ahead of me.
I'm now in the Colorado River banks, which is still in the Grand Canyon. And the time in the US moment is 8:06 p.m.
Cheeky little mini there.
I'm pressing the options menu to bring up the little smartphone menu, and it tells me what time it is at the moment in the game.
It's got a nice little radio on that as well.
A full day in this game will take 2 hours, which is 5 seconds per minute. You've just got up to 4th.
Yeah, past the mini. Third place is about 300 yards ahead of me.
Try not to overdo it.
I'm good. I'm doing rally at the moment, which I'm happy with. Although my wheel is trying to kill my arms here.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, Renegade, you're using the hardcore steering setting. Well, speaking of steering types or steering assists, I don't use the hardcore steering setting at all, unless I want to do drifting with it. But most of the time I always stick with all driving help, because I don't like having any of my cars spinning out the whole time when they're going on certain surfaces like the Bonneville salt flats, trying to hit their top speed, and they're using a lot of power on the salt itself. So for that I use all driving help, but for some cars, and I don't think it's necessary, I could over to a sports driving assist. But the basic thing is always stuck with all driving help, because it's the quickest one to use.
Every game I play I always have it turned off. The only driver rage I usually keep on, depending on the game, like with Gran Turismo, I'll have ABS on. That's it. One of the events that I had postponed earlier this year, the Vision Gran Turismo race series, I think I'm going to have to drop the series altogether, because I'm spending a lot more time with the PS4. Yeah. A lot of the usual guys that I race with in the OPC race crew, they've all moved on to PS4. And even though not all of them, yeah, they don't all have like Drive Club or the Crew or any racing game really, but they're taking advantage of games like Grand Theft Auto.
Speaking of Grand Theft Auto, the newest game, Grand Theft Auto 5, the PC version is expected to be released mid this month.
Yeah.
And apparently the first trailer has it running at 60 frames per second. The console versions can't match that speed.
I'm sure they probably could, but well, they can on single player, but the multiplayer is a difficult thing because they're still in the early years of finding out how to get the best performance out of these consoles, so until they find the optimized settings, you're just going to have to make compromises somewhere. Yeah, everybody's obsessed with frame rates, and I'm not sure why. Because the way I see it, when I go and watch a movie at the cinema, that's only running at 24 frames per second. I don't ever come out of a movie rate that's poor. It's not something I've ever bothered about.
Yeah. Speaking about the Grand Theft Auto series, GTA 5 is I think a very major bestseller at this point. A lot of people are playing it. It was first released on the PS3 and Xbox 360. They had the enhanced port added to the PS4 and Xbox One, and it's still a popular game. But it's not without its controversy, like all the other Grand Theft Auto games did. Some of these controversies included depiction of torture, and I really don't want to talk any deeper into torture because that could disturb a lot of listeners listening.
Yeah, and it was well documented on the news about how it got banned in places in Australia because of that. And its depiction of treatment of women, but yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
The depictions of depictions. There's another one. The game being accused of sexism. It's one of these games that's been removed from department stores, Target and Kmart.
Yeah.
But that's because of a Change.org petition removing that game from the stores due to something they have going on about violence against women. Really, it's a game. There's no need to criticize the game heavily just for that simple criticism. It's just a game. If you don't like it, then don't play it. Whatever you do, just have a little bit more common sense to it. I think that's what my view is. It's just a game. Play it whenever you want. If you don't like it, then don't touch it whatsoever. It's the simplest thing you can do.
Plus, to put the less serious spin on it, my best friend being a girl, she beats me up all the time. So it goes both ways. And I'm not offended by it. But yeah, each to their own, I guess.
Yeah. This long drive that's taking me from checkpoint 23 to 24 is very long. From when I last checked, I would have to drive 32 kilometers or 20 miles to try and get to the next checkpoint. Checkpoint 24 is already on my extended minimap view now.
Yeah, I'm heading to that one now. I'm 13 miles out. Catching second place. 3 miles up the road.
How far away are you from the second place driver?
2.6 miles. It's coming down fairly quickly.
That's not bad.
think he's in
Now, I've just left the Grand Canyon and entered Lake Mead.
So just for the viewers watching, this isn't the only game that we'll be streaming today on the PlayStation Community channel. At 7 o'clock British Summer Time, English Golfer is streaming Counter Spy. And then at 8 PM, we'll be joining Matsimo for his Monday night Drive Club event, which is always good fun if you want to join in. Oh, I've crashed. And then after that, it'll be randoms.
I don't think I'll ever be getting to that Drive Club thing, especially on that one which happens on a Monday night, like you say, because at that time, I think if it was a British summertime, it would have to be 5 AM down under for me to join. That would be way too early, so I guess I'll leave myself out for that.
Yeah.
Also, just so the viewers know that I don't have Drive Club either, because I've placed my pre-order for Project Cars, and I'm just anxious for it to be released.
I think it was August last year I placed my pre-order. I was actually looking at the receipt the other day, and it's been in my wallet that long that the actual ink on the receipt's faded and you can't read it, but I'll still be fine because it's tied with my reward card and my debit card that I used to pre-order it.
I'm now crossing through an area called Death Valley. It means that I'm not that far from the Money City, or the Neon City, being Las Vegas, and it's already on my view to the right.
Any WWE fans don't know Death Valley? It's where the Undertaker's from, the character.
And this route that I'm looking at right now, it's going to bypass all of Las Vegas. It's going to the left, away from the city.
That's a shame. It's actually quite nice when you approach Vegas on this game, especially at night.
Yeah. And from a distance, say if you're in the snowy areas on a bit of a highway approaching Salt Lake City, you can see just a bit of lower brightness from the snowy areas. But seeing the brightness from the snowy areas, I kind of question whether that it would be realistic or not. And from the looks of it, I know they've got these cities marked in. I just don't think they've did the detailing properly. And if they did make it a realistic USA map, you'd have to spend spend as much as 5 or 6 days if it was realistic, and doing it in the game before you can get from coast to coast in that length of time.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my friend around to the idea, if she stays in America, that we should do a road trip from New York to LA. Yeah. Not sure she has the car for it though.
Since I've mentioned LA, there is one particular kind of little objective that you can do while in Las Vegas. Earn $1 million from PvP events or faction missions in Las Vegas. One of these faction missions being the Landmark Tour and the PvP lobbies and races that take place in Las Vegas. If you do it properly, you'll get a couple of award points from doing just that, from getting $1 million from Las Vegas. I'm back in Death Valley, a couple of U-turns up here, and from the looks of it, I'm nearing the west coast.
Oh, I'm just under 2 miles from that checkpoint 24.
Just crossed the borderline to the east coast, and the scenery in the sky and the aura has changed again. I'm now in High Sierra. Now, I'm not sure if some of the listeners would know this, but there is a particular kind of a hidden award point or something in the West Coast where you have to find Bigfoot. And at first, when I looked at the award point where you have to find Bigfoot, I wasn't even sure where to look for. At that time, I was stumped, but a bit of a spoiler alert for those that don't want to hear it, block your ears. The location of Bigfoot is somewhere in the southern or northern Cascades in the West Coast, which is not that far from Seattle.
Have you came across Bigfoot in Grand Theft Auto yet?
Another spoiler alert for those that don't want to know it, block your ears. Finding the unicorn. It's easily found near the borderline of the Midwest and East Coast, but can be found in the East Coast if you do it properly. It's in a little bit of area on the map which is a little bit clear. I really can't pick out what specific area it is, but the unicorn, it's not that difficult to find if you do it properly. You have to teleport a certain distance away from that area, then approach it, and the unicorn will pop up. Once you get close to it, you'll earn a couple of award points and a little bit of award from finding the unicorn. That's the spoiler alert's done. Unblock your ears now.
You know they wouldn't hear that. Yeah. If they had their ears covered, they wouldn't have heard you saying unblock your ears.
I'm now crossing... Oh, I'm just back into Mountain States, but it could be briefly back into the Great Basin. Or Basin or something. B-A-S-I-N. I have quite a bit of difficulty trying to pronounce that word properly.
I know in the UK we pronounce it basin.
Well, I think that's probably the proper way to pronounce it.
Yeah, well, those in America did butcher the English language. I don't know, can't really complain because it was really the English and the Irish that went over there. We can blame ourselves.
I'm back in the West Coast, crossing through an area called Yosemite.
Which everybody will know from Yosemite Sam.
Speaking of Yosemite, there was one particular kind of a fictional racetrack that I can think of called El Capitan, which was only in Gran Turismo 4.
I remember that one.
And a particular endurance race for that, for the El Capitan event, you have to do 66 laps on the event while using sports tires and a car fast enough to do it. And at the time they had B-Spec, and you could speed the process up by 3 times using the live timing and the speed booster sort of thing. If you did it properly, you'll be able to get it done, say, in less than an hour, tops.
Yeah, I don't know about anyone else, but I kinda preferred that B-Spec in GT4 because you could actually make a pit stop and hand the controls over to an AI driver. It made it more authentic, especially if you're doing a Le Mans race where you'll do a 2-hour stint, make your pit stop, then hand it over and have a nap or read a book or whatever.
I was a bit annoyed when, with B-Spec for GT5, they dropped the increased speed for up to 3 times. They've dropped that for Gran Turismo 5, and the same thing again recently for Gran Turismo 6.
If you tried it in GT6 much, well, B-Spec, know what I mean? It works quite well. I quite like it, but I think it's sort of like a teaser of what they plan to do in GT7. Basically, much the guinea pigs, I think.
Well, some people think that the release of B-Spec for Gran Turismo 6 by over a year or so was a bit of a long overdue process and a bit of an afterthought. And I'm not sure if I read this right, but even with the released features for Gran Turismo 6, it's only going to make it harder for it to compete commercially, because support for the PlayStation 3, as far as I know, is going to cease this year. Don't know what specific part of the year it will be, but either it'll be hardware or software, I'm not entirely sure, but it could cease in 2015, which is this year.
I'm not sure. I'm sure there's bound to be some few firmware updates, and I know there is some this-gen games that are still scheduled for 2016. So it won't be software.
I've just crossed checkpoint number 25. The next checkpoint is just about 21 kilometers away. Which is, I think, a bit over 13 miles, something like that.
Can someone viewing this stream say hi or something? Because I'm not sure if this chat is working or not. Because my phone is going crazy with alerts at the moment and I don't know what they're saying. So, just checking if the chat's working.
Okay. From the noise that's going on, it sounds like you're using a steering wheel from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I am no good with steering wheels because it takes a lot of memory and patience to do it. Plus, I'm not a real-life licensed driver, to tell you the truth, so I don't usually I don't use steering wheels a lot these days.
Well, I remember when I was a lot younger and less mature, but when I've had my first wheel, I was never any good at it. I could never even use manual gearing back then. But Gran Turismo 5 came along and I thought I'm going to give it a go. Bought a Driving Force GT and I've never turned back since. Upgraded to a Thrustmaster T500 last year.
Well, with Gran Turismo 6, the newest wheel, the T300, apparently is a lot more precise, as far as I know.
It's got a much smoother motor. I'd say the precision's still about the same, but the T500's got better feedback, I think.
Oh dear, you just dropped back to 5th.
Have I?
Yeah, you dropped down to 5th.
That can't be right, because I've only got 2nd ahead of me.
Maybe it's a little glitchy.
I don't remember any of them passing me, and I can see them behind me.
Yeah, it's somewhat a little glitchy if that was to be the case. I'm now crossing through Central Valley, and it's a bit of a flat road going on. And I'm not sure if some of the listeners would remember me saying that I haven't tested the top speed of my H1. Well, this is a bit of a flat road, I think. I think it would have a top speed of 260 in kilometers per hour, that is.
Oh, now it's actually shown me in fifth. Oh, now it's went back to third.
It just gone back up to third. That was a bit of a glitchy moment. I think they may need to fix that up for this event.
Well, because I'm less than a mile behind second place here. 7 miles behind you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're in a more twisty bit and got a lot of U-turns, but I've caught 3 miles on you.
I'm along a few bits of straight road along here.
Okay.
Crossing through Central Valley, there's a few straight roads.
I'm in Tahoe Forest. It's slow up here. Oh, that's a truck.
You've got equal distance from what I can see. I can see that second place is 13 kilometers behind, and you're 14 kilometers behind.
Yeah, that's about right.
I'm now crossing through wine country, and from the looks of where I'm at, I'd probably be looking over to my left, San Francisco.
Home of my favourite football team. Oh, American football. Although, technically not since the move to Santa Clara, but that's another debate for another day.
You know what my favourite football team is, USA-wise?
That.
My favourite is the Seattle Seahawks. I think they were the 2013 or 2014 Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, they won last year. Knocked out my team in the conference championship. Not a fan of them.
But it's kind of bit weird, a little bit disappointing for the Seahawks to lose earlier this year to what's his name? Oh, I forget what team it is.
Patriots.
With one of their
New England Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, the Patriots. One of their key players. I think this would be a bit weird if listeners are knowing this, but one of their key players was Tom Brady.
Yeah, quarterback. Don't like him. Not on a personal level, just on a sporting level.
Yeah. I've just crossed through checkpoint 26. The next checkpoint isn't that far away, just less than a mile of distance. And I'm now inside San Francisco. Crossing through a section called Marina. Now into the hills.
I think most people know San Francisco from Mrs. Doubtfire movie.
These hills are becoming a bit of a challenge for my 4-ton Hummer.
Yeah, if it gets too steep, you can just go out and push it.
Passing through Union Square. I've just entered. I think it's Height Ashbury. I think it has an A in Height. I think it is Haight. It says. Don't know. across the Twin Peaks, just going through Castro. Looks like I'm about to leave San Francisco and onto the main highway, which is Highway 1. Oh! A bus got in the way.
Yeah, buses do that.
Left San Francisco and into the Bay Area of the West Coast.
If there was taxis in this game, you'd be crashing all the time.
For a brief moment, it said North Pacific Ocean. That's what it is anyway. You don't seem to be closing in too quickly on the second place driver.
Yeah, I've actually fallen further behind as I was going through all the... well, coming down the mountain. I was less than a mile behind, but now I'm over 2 miles. It's slowly coming down.
Just passing through Big Sur. It's got a U in Sur. I don't know why. But do you know how much horsepower my Dirt Spec H1 Alpha is putting out at maximum performance in Dirt Spec?
I don't know, about 500 something?
A bit over 800 brake horsepower, weighing over 2 tons.
That's a lot of power.
Yeah, but it needs that power because it's heavy, and it needs to keep up with the other dirt spec cars, like the RUF 3400K in that respect.
Oh. I've only got 3 dirt spec cars. I think it's my Nissan 350Z and
a 370Z.
Is it the 370? Because I thought the 370 was the DLC one.
It's the Nissan 370Z is what it's called in the crew. It's not the 2009 car that you expect with a different front. The 2013 car has a front that's nearly similar to the 350.
Alright. That's what I thought was a 350 plus DLC in the new one. I don't use it much. I only really bought it so I'll get that trophy for getting car with each spec. Can't remember my third car. I think it's one of the classics, muscle cars. Probably the Dodge Challenger.
There's one particular kind of car in this game, the 1969, I think, Dodge Charger RT Hemi. There is one idea I think I like with the car, and I think some people would think it's a good idea, others think it'll be a bit over the top. Weld the doors shut, paint it orange, and put a Confederate flag on the roof.
Yeah, that's classic. What's it called? What's the TV series?
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, that's it.
Some people think it'll be over the top.
If you're a car fan, you got to do that.
But it's not just me that thought of this. It was actually a UK motoring reality show called Wheeler Dealers. When they did the a 1970 Dodge Charger with the desired stick shifter and was in black, Mike Brewer, which is one of the 2 presenters of Wheeler Dealers, thought that his mechanic Ed China would have one of his mad moments. Weld the door shut, paint orange, and put a Confederate flag on the roof. Ed China didn't think it was a good idea.
Yeah, the 2 of them don't agree too much on things, that show.
in the end, they still decided on the already good black color on the Charger, and a little bit of a nod to Dukes of Hazzard, the famous horn that they used for Dukes of Hazzard. It'll be difficult for me to recreate that with my whistle or something like that. Doing it with my tongue and mouth, I create it. Not even so. I'll let the watchers and viewers decide how the sound is. Is that good enough?
Yeah.
But it's just not just Ed China thinking that it's something that he couldn't resist. He wanted he wanted to pay a bit of a homage to Dukes of Hazzard as it was his final job on the Charger. And when Mike Brewer came, Ed China told him that it was one job that he was particularly proud of. Mike Brewer pressed the horn, and that famous horn that came on, he laughed quite. Said it was fantastic. And Ed China did mention that if the new owner didn't like the Dukes of Hazzard horn, he's putting a switch that allows it to switch over to a standard sounding horn. That was a top moment there. And I loved it for that alone. Just entered Los Angeles, crossing through the famous Santa Monica, usually the end of Route 66, the historic highway.
Oh, that went wrong.
The next checkpoint, which is checkpoint 31, is just about a mile away from where I'm at now. Would it be a bit of a good effort if you were in second place by the time I finished?
I think if I get second place anywhere, it'll be a good effort. I'm not catching much more.
Yeah.
Kinda had a big moment now.
Yeah. In any case, if you like, I know some people think that this is pretty much figuring out how the other crew member goes, or crew leader goes. The person that's already nearing the finish line would stop just before the finish line to allow time for the other crew drivers to get some better positions. And if they're in a good enough position, the leading driver will cross the finish line and start the 30-second countdown timer.
Oh, I'm actually 1.2 miles behind now. There's hope. I'd actually go a bit quicker if I remember to use my nose.
Yeah, if it's on a bit of straight road and if you get the car going straight enough, not hitting anything, it'll be a safe one to use. Two more checkpoints, then a sprint to the finish. I'm already passed through the 30-second checkpoint. Passing through a suburb called Mulholland Drive.
A famous place.
And as I speak, there's a bit of brightness coming from the east. The sun is about to come up. That makes me ask this. In this game, there is less nighttime than there is to daytime. Usually, if it's in winter, night times usually last much longer. But in this, they seem to want to allow the daytime to last longer. I don't know why, how, or what's going through their heads when they thought about it.
I don't know. Maybe people just don't like driving at night as much, so they try to keep the majority of the drivers happy. But personal preference,
between 8:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. in this game, those are the sort of times where your headlights aren't turned on, which in other words means you'd be spending most of the time with headlights on. I don't know why. I'm just a few hundred meters away from the finish. I'll stop just short of it so you'll get enough time to overtake the second place driver if you're able to get it done properly.
Well, I'm less than a mile behind.
Just using the viewer, the second place driver is about 8 kilometers or 4.8 miles away from where I'm at.
Would have been alright if that GPS didn't mess me up, put me miles behind.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's alright because I was 5 miles behind second place at one point, so to get it down to less than a mile.
Yeah. 100 minutes total time in this race, or roughly 1 hour 40 minutes. If you're about 0.6 of a mile from the second place driver, it'll appear on the extended mini map, which you can view by hitting up on the direction pad. I think you may have known of that by now.
Yeah. It usually changes to yards instead of miles when I'm close enough.
300 meters is, I think, 1,000 yards. Not sure if that's correct or anything.
It's back up to 1.2 miles now. Oh, I've crashed. That's done it now. And I'm stuck in neutral. Oh, 1.8 now. That cost me quite a bit.
Yeah.
Don't know what he's driving, but he's probably got a lot better top speed than mine on this long straight here.
The only reason why the others are faster is because the fastest, the driver with the highest performance value, me in this case, because I have the highest performance value, that will affect the performance of the AI opposition.
Yeah. Oh, we got another trophy there. Highway 1+.
Yeah, Highway 1+. Drive the length of Highway 1 while in a crew, 2 to 4 players. Unfortunately, it's a bugged award point in that case, because next day when you log in Greenwich Mean Time or British Summer Time, it won't register as a completed award point. You have to make sure all the other award points for a certain category that's in, you have to make sure all of them are complete to make sure you earn the license plate. That way, I think there'll be a guarantee that the specific award point won't be bugged. It's a bit of an opinion this way, but I think it's not that difficult to get the other award points in its own category sorted.
Oh, it's less than a mile again. This one problem with this wheel is the buttons are too close to each other. And with me wearing these gloves, when you press the nitrous button, sometimes you also hit the handbrake.
Yeah. Could do with a little bit more room, I think.
Most of our Grand Theft Auto players will recognise a lot of this area.
You're just less than 2 miles from where I'm at. And the second place driver is very close now, about 2.8 kilometers, or a bit over, a bit over 1.6 miles away.
Can't even see him. Oh, he's on my map. He's not too far.
Mm-hmm. I'm just pulling my vehicle over to the side of it because there's a bit of traffic wanting to get through, such as a tour bus. Don't know why. So how many checkpoints do you have left?
Oh, 3. Not 2.
Okay. Once you pass the 34th checkpoint, it'll be a direct, straightforward direction to the finish line.
I've lost sight of this guy now, so I'll be happy with 3rd.
Yeah.
It gets my objective.
Yeah. The thing is, it doesn't have to be first place or something for challenges like this. You simply have to place in the top 3. That's the basic thing you have to do.
I'm gonna finish in time.
Mm-hmm.
That's my workout
At
done
least
for
the
today.
race is done.
Yeah, those watching, don't buy a gym membership, buy a wheel in a racing game.
Mm-hmm.
Crank that force feedback and resistance right up.
The amount of bucks I earned from this event was 185,000 at least. That's a very good score.
I wasn't looking. Too much focused on my mini eggs. They've been open behind me, I could smell them for the whole hour and a half. But anyway, I think I'm calling into that stream there, if I can find my controller. So thanks everybody for watching, be sure to tune in 3.5 hours from now where English Golfer will be streaming Counter-Spy, so thank you for watching.